My name's Rodney.
Okay. Welcome back, boys and girls, Treasure Coast locals. We are doing the Treasure Coast Board Riders Club podcast, talking the plank. Our goal is to introduce and highlight local athletes, business owners, and pros, beginners. Uh, if you're looking to hang out with like-minded members of the surf community, stay tuned. You're not going to be disappointed. Brought to you by sharktoothsurf.com. Use code PLANK10. Designing apparel for gear board riders since 1993. Sharktooth Company. Here to equip surfers and seize life in style. They design surf clothing and surf gear for adventure seekers, maybe like yourself. So shout out to Sharktooth. Go check them. Uses only manufacturing processes that reduce waste. Please go to sharktooth.com. Use plank 10, and that's sharktoothsurf.com. Upcoming dates tomorrow. Loco boy Willie Martinez is going to do a club meeting and movie night January 23rd. So that's Tuesday, January 23rd. Brewery in Sebastian. Uh, Paradolia. Look it up. I think it's near downtown, somewhere in that area, but Cleveland Street. Yes, sir. January 31st, tryouts at the Jetty. You guys got to be a member, but call Brandon, message if someone that we know that is has missed or wanted to find out what it is to be able to surf this contest that hasn't been able to this year. Please come out. We need some heavy hitters. We're trying to make it to the Florida Cup on the February 3rd, and that is going to be here in Treasure Coast for at North Jetty, and it's going to be able to make us or break us on the introduction to the championship for at Jacksonville. So it's come out, support your local surf community, your Treasure Coast team, and where we will be reaching out to a couple of you to come out. April 6th to 7th, Ohana Surf Shop Single Fin Showdown, 15th annual. And you know how long, if you've been around, one of the funnest events, I think, in the Stuart Jensen area for sure. And it's just a big family event. We've always had live music, after party at Ohana, and you get a jacket like you are I want to think like Adam Sandler movie, like the golden jacket. What was that guy's name? That his nemesis in that movie.
Oh, I'm bad with movies.
The Adam Sandler golf movie.
Yeah.
So you get one of those jackets. It's embroidered.
Shooter
And
McGavin.
Shooter McGavin. You could
He
just
eats scum like you for breakfast.
Yeah.
Ew, you eat scum for breakfast?
So you're gonna be able to be Shooter McGavin, and we'll see who the Adam Sandler movie is out of that one. What else? May?
Also,
Yeah.
how
Yes,
about
sir.
if you were a Treasure Coast local and you were going to be around this Sunday, January 28th, please stop by to one of our lost Treasure Coast members, Brandon Reed. He passed away this last week. All of his friends are team riders and come support the community. It'll be an open house from 1 to 4 p.m. at their home, 219 Marina Avenue in Fort Pierce. If you guys remember a few months back, Brandon's sister had been bit by a shark, and we support our community as much as possible. So if you guys are around, feel free to go or even shoot them a loving message online. We want to give a shout out to Cole Mazzarella, Gabe Griffin, Jake Griffin, Cannon King, all the locals
The
around
Hargraves.
all their age. This one's hitting us deep, boys. But if you look right here on the screen, you'll see. And yeah,
Another is in Jensen. I think Ted that used to Ted Nylander used to run IWS down in Jensen. His wife recently fell to the same circumstances, and shout out to them. He has a shop at I think it's Native Water Sports or that right down in the fork in the road at the Texaco. And he used to run IWS, has brought pretty much everybody that I've known back in the day around in this van all the way down to Boynton for surf contests. And we just had a podcast with Frankie Morano, and he was saying the same for the skate team. Legendary guy. And there you go. So we are back, and we are watching Pismo Beach QS. And speaking of Pismo Beach, here, local Pismo guy, and now Treasure Coast local.
Yes. Rodney Roller. I lived in Pismo Beach for 20 years and ran a surf school there that whole 20 years and started a nonprofit. I started actually two nonprofits. I started a nonprofit teaching amputees, surfers, amputees how to surf. And so it's Amp Surf. And I also started a nonprofit for wounded soldiers where we bring in active duty wounded soldiers into Pismo Beach. We fly them in. We pick them up at the airport with 25 classic cars. We drive them into Pismo Beach. We take them to the local surf shop. We give them t-shirts and hats, and we put them up in a 5-star hotel. Billabong shows up with their Billabong camp, RV, and professional surfers. We've had Operation Amp Surf. Yes, it is. That's
Here we
the
go.
organization
Right
I started when I became a amputee surfer. I broke all my prosthetic legs and I didn't have access to get any new prosthetics. So a pro surfer friend of mine told me, "Hey, why don't you approach the industry and see if they would sponsor you? You're a very good amputee surfer." And so I did, and what I got in response was, "Well, how many amputees surf? You know, if we're going to sponsor you, is there an audience for that?" So back in 2003, with the internet just now going
Yeah.
in full force, yeah, I started a website, Amp Surf, and I go, you know what, I'm gonna find out. And there wasn't very many amputees, so I decided I was gonna start teaching amputees to
Nice.
surf. And so that was 20 years ago. We're still going strong. We got organizations both here on the East Coast now, and
Yeah.
so
We
yeah.
also have I volunteered with Surfers with Autism, and that's
Mm-mm-mm.
so I get the whole program, and it's a admirable day for everyone that helps, volunteers, and joins that. And you're saying that you're gonna have a circuit go on, pro circuit.
We've now not in 2015 the ISA got involved and they created a world adaptive surfing event for us, the World Games, and so with the goal of making it to the Paralympics.
Yeah.
And so actually we are the element that allowed surfing to go to the Olympics,
Yeah.
because in order to go to the Olympics there has to be a Paralympic
Yeah.
element. And so because they started that Paralympic element, surfing made it to the Olympics. So now our goal is to make it into the 2028 Paralympics. We have not quite achieved that yet, but they're going to be voting on that this year.
I hope they do. Now, in the organization, there's multiple different injuries that classify you in different divisions.
Yes.
What would those be?
There's about 8 different divisions. Between below the knee amputee, above the knee amputee, lower. That's what you call lower limb extremities, and then you got upper limb extremities, including arm, hand, you know, uh, that kind of stuff. And then you also have paralyzed surfers. So there's about 3 different categories based on how they surf, whether they surf laying down, whether they surf sitting up, or whether they surf assisted. There's a lot of surfers out there that need to be pushed into waves. So basically, there's about 8 different categories,
Right. You were talking about also blind,
and blind surfing as well.
deaf. I think every jetty surfer from Fort Pierce is deaf, though, because we're dropping in, we're not hearing you.
Yeah.
So you're gonna find a lot of good surfers over here at North Jetty. Might be able to join.
Yeah.
So we're watching round 11, 12, Heat 1. Did you start this
So
over?
this is the very, very beginning, but I
Okay.
wanted to touch back on one thing that
Okay.
you're talking about, the jetty surfers
Yeah.
not being able to hear. So we'll watch a clip real quick. This is kind of what you guys were talking about the line.
Mhm.
And Rodney has probably more experience with the most years under his belt, kind of talking about priority. We're talking about like the pecking order compared to beach breaks compared to
Yeah.
like point breaks.
So yeah,
Yes. Okay.
so what was different about like California, how their pecking order goes down during, because I've been to some, it's different. It's just it is.
Yeah.
It's a lot further out breaks, and there's a lot of people in line waiting to take their turn. The swell's a little slower. Here,
Yeah.
we all pack in a wolf pack, and
Yeah.
you either own the peak or you know somebody that might be able to come in,
Yeah.
because we're trying to, and I'll explain that a little bit later, but if after you.
California definitely has a strong pecking order. Basically, the outside break, the most dominant part of the wave, is ran by the locals, and so your job is really to find out who they are, and sneak your way in and stay away a little bit away from them a little bit and allow them to kind of invite you in. That's the best way to get in. But if you just paddle straight out to the peak,
Yeah.
they're all gonna team up on you.
Oh yeah, you're not gonna get one.
And yeah, and then now you got 8 surfers that are blocking you.
Yeah. Same thing with Pavones when I went to my first time surfing a big long point break. Like, and you can, but the thing is, yeah, the locals, you got to figure out, it's not like there's a whole bunch of people that are kind of learning. Yeah, skip right by them.
Mhm.
If you know what you're doing, you can't just do that. You better sit with them if you're not sure if that's you or not.
Yeah.
So, and then the locals, they're always,
Yeah.
they're going to be on the peak, and that's theirs. And if you want some safety tips, don't ever just turn and start paddling on them, because they're going to get it. Don't and give them, just immediately give up the wave that they turn on. And if you're farther down the line and it really looks like they can't get it, they'll tell you that they can't, and then you turn on those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also the secret too is it's give up a wave or two. Like
Yeah.
you might be in the right position, but you give it to that local. You give him, then now he's your best friend now.
Oh yeah. Well,
know.
he knows that you've bent the knee, and
Yeah.
you have respect, and you might be able to sneak one of them that he didn't. He might see another one, and he'll give it to you. You might. So all respect and safety as well.
Mhm.
So
So I got a clip. that I wanted to show you guys and
Okay.
see how this worked out. Give me a second. Let me get to the right spot.
So that's um yeah, from that's the kind of surfing and pecking order and safety that there is. It's everyone
we'll
wastes their
donate your
turn on a
organs
long
later.
point break like
What?
that.
I'm like, I think they need them right
They
away.
need
Here
'em
in
right
Fort
away.
Pierce,
So right now, on the
different out
website.
there.
I saw
right
footage of
after
some
this,
guy
Sterling
carrying a heart and trip
clip.
and fall and dropped it.
What?
It's like this helicopter footage. Anyways, we'll move on.
Dude, when I was in freaking like my first year in middle school,
Yeah.
it was so scary
Yeah.
because the girl started growing the stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Can they still hear us?
Yeah. So moving here to Fort Pierce, my first time paddling
Larger than
out,
me.
you know,
She sit behind
having
me.
all the ground
And I
sitting
can't
right
remember her
next to the old timers was kind of new for me because out in California, the old timers are out back and the Groms are on the inside, you know, and they have to kind of like earn their way up the pecking order.
There is a food chain.
Yeah. And here they're all kind of sitting like in the same spot.
I have no idea. Sometimes I find people that, they're uh get a Sterling clip, but so back to the jetty. Yeah, some of the Groms, they all hang out on their own peak, kind of like a little bit inside and between, this one and this one. And some of them go off and do work and try to skip their line up and then skip their line back down.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll get one if they keep on working and working.
The
That's
way I
what it
kind of
is.
explained it, you know, and I could be explaining it wrong, but from my perspective, being from California, I say I look at it like everyone goes, and then it's who makes the drop. Once they get to their feet, then they start figuring out the pecking order, like who has the wave. But it's not like everyone's gonna back off. Like in California, everyone will back off
Yeah.
and allow that one person to go.
Okay. So these are some of the days, and that's what since I broke my back in the same industrial kind of way that you have either as well. When I came back in the water 4 years later, and it took about every bit of that, I looked and I was like, "What is going on?"
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Who's been managing this?"
Mm-hmm.
They're fired.
Yeah.
Because when I came out, nobody knew. No, you're exactly right. Nobody really knew what's going on, who's going left or right, or who deserves to even have that chance
Mm-hmm.
with and structure. And it's a lot about safety. One, two. It's there has to be structure.
Mm-hmm.
That's how dangerous, and that's how fights and people arguing, people misunderstanding each other, and to avoid all that, and that's our main goal: to one, be safe, and two, to be happy.
Yeah, to
It's
be honest, I don't feel safe having five guys dropping in at the same time.
that's because there was no real local there to or show who is next, where it is, what part of that peak is gonna be like if I go out, I'm gonna. It's very easy where you should sit right behind me.
Yeah.
and if but if there's four other guys when deserve that have put their work in, and you'll see. I don't think you've seen a well-oiled machine like I run a Jetty Bull
Yeah.
Peak. All the Groms get like their taste and being third and second row.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna paddle so hard and make sure everybody else that's coming down here from down south or wherever they're coming from.
Well, getting back to Pismo Beach.
They're gonna.
Can we get back to Pismo Beach real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pismo Beach had a strong pecking order back like 30 years ago. But you basically, you would get beat up if you basically got out of the line. And it's still kind of like that today. I after surfing there 20 years, you know, basically I knew the pecking order, and you know, and so I knew who not to, you know, paddle with, and just let them get their wave, because as soon as he gets his wave, now you're free to go.
Yeah, people don't know that back in the day, like if you got five guys circling you with the leash over your neck, and and there's nowhere to go but home.
Yeah.
If you make it to your car.
Yeah.
That's how we ran it, and it's completely different now, and one of the most enjoying beaches. That's why it's been so much more populated as well. And there's nothing everybody has cell phones. You don't want to risk it, and the jetty park will kick you out for life if you get caught with doing something now. So it's kind of tamed, but the work ethic for the locals, you just have to surf. Your people who you surf with have to know that structure to where nothing is. You got to run the peak, and if you stop running the peak, then you get everybody
injuries. You get injuries
dropping in with no structure, and
yeah,
there's a structure to it. It's not because, you know, not one, you're a local and you're probably leading somebody into better waves who's behind you, but it's just a structure to where no one's going to be injured, no fights are going to occur, and everyone's going to end up being a lot happier at the end of the day as well.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I do love the fact that our Groms here get to surf with us, and so I would not want to see that, like, you know, hindered.
They used to be a wild west, and you know, I know beaches probably the same way. Like once you get the cell phone and lawyers involved, because everybody, you know, that happens. It's just kind of changes the fact to puts it to it.
One of my friends in Pismo ended up in court because he surfed a heavy local spot, and he got a nose board shoved into his nose, and 20 stitches later.
Yeah. Are we switching? But yeah, I've seen some guys. I'm not gonna name names, but yeah, they used to shoot their boards. If you came and you don't know what you're doing, the safest way is just to stay out of the way. Go down the beach. Take your time and look who's dropping in on the best waves.
Yeah,
those are all the boys.
Yeah,
and then if it doesn't look, because we're gonna take every good one. So why even try to pack up and get in the way?
No, you're causing trouble if you do that.
Move over. Try to if you try to get a good shoulder here and there or down the beach. It is what it is, and I go back down the pecking order down in like Miami or Jupiter or Sebastian. But if they came to the jetty and I seen them on a good swill, we trade favors. Hey, hop in here. Busy. Like once the oil machine is going,
Yeah.
we're working
Yeah,
every
because
set.
we all love to travel, and so we all love to go to different spots. But your objective when you get to a new spot is to find out who those locals are.
And 100% respect.
Yeah, and give them respect, and you'd be surprised. You show them respect. They're your best buds because
Yeah.
they don't get that very often.
This is the funniest thing. Puerto Rico is not friendly.
Hmm.
We had a blast showing because we know what it at North Jetty. It's pretty much one of the first spots for South Florida, and on a really good day, you're talking about like maybe 400 people out. Like
Yeah,
it's not it's chaos.
yeah.
But since we know what to do, we also show the same respect to everywhere else that has that.
Hmm.
And we had a blast at Hobos, hanging out with the locals there, drinking beer.
Yeah.
And hey, now we're good. Now he's showing us, and everyone else, and everyone sees
Hmm.
us with him. Then we're good. Now you're really good.
Exactly. And so that's all I would say is find out who the locals are and show some respect and give up some waves. Be willing to give up some waves,
Oh yeah.
and you'll get your waves.
Yeah, and if you see, like, if I went to, Pavones or something, and, I'm next in line, and one of their Groms
Dude,
wanted to
you guys
get my
gotta.
shoulder,
Right on.
or is like inside and trying to, I'll hoot him right in. I'll hoot him, go boy, go. And when they see that, that's someone's nephew, that's someone's son.
Mm.
They all know that, and if they see that, then
All right. Is it all right? That stuff.
yo 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 yo. Welcome back. A little bathroom break, and so we're watching Pitmo. We're restarted this, right? Correct? Because I want to see. I heard you told me Zeke went out, killed it, came back in, grabbed a Ben Gravy board, went out, did an air, and on a soft top and killed it. There is pretty much 3 minutes to go on Heat 1 on this. We're restarting it. Dreary day. Usually it doesn't rain that much over there, huh?
This time of year it will get most of the rain, January, but you know the swell typically is a lot bigger as well. A little bit more walled up, so the tide must be high. Uh, typically Pismo will break from like 100-foot wall,
Yeah.
you know, very fast.
Yeah. It looks a lot more high tide and
I think that big swell that came in, like what happens after a big swell, it roughs up the bottom of
yeah.
makes it more sandbars,
Yeah.
and so there must be a lot of sandbars out there right now, which is good,
Yeah. Well, we're definitely interested in watching this as this goes down. Hey Brando, can you turn down the commentary? Nuh-uh. Oh, we're on
The
live
parents are
there
like,
too?
"Hey." This morning, Ryan Simmons was like, "Oh yeah, the parents are messaging me. The volume's messed up. You gotta turn it down. You gotta go up. Blah, blah,
It's
blah." It's
just
like,
we're
chill out, chill out.
it's a
Come on down
lot
and watch it.
like all these wires and microphones and the settings and coming back. All right, so we're back with a little bit of Sterling Spencer clip. We were talking about localism.
Yes.
Okay, and here we go. Let's.
Mm. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm.
Can they hear us? So
Shane Besson lost his world title. I believe that cost him a world title.
that is talk about breaking the near.
I'm sorry.
All right, stand by 1 second. Don't keep going. I'm gonna
Okay.
turn this volume off for everybody.
Okay.
Okay. Um. Yeah, that's gnarly. But that's surfing here in Florida. Like when you don't, that's why priority is a big issue. Did they have priority on that?
No,
Not
they
that.
didn't have priority back then. And to me, I think it was legal.
It's legal if you ever seen some scrappers here and the waves are small at Easterns or like regionals. Guys are faking out to go left and they're really fading right back into the peak and going right. So you can't go right
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
So there's some tricks to be had, like some.
I'm an old
I don't
school
like it.
surfer, so I kind of I'm not I don't like priority because I can win contests based on strategy.
Endurance as well.
Yeah, and so I use my strategy to the best of my
Yeah, because a
ability.
part of it, we're working you down energy wise, and strategy. Because if you have priority, we don't. There's a very good chance that you're surfing great,
Hmm.
and I didn't even think about this. So this is actually a very good
I
point,
kept some
dude.
good. I got some good surfers eliminated out of some of my
Yeah.
heats by keeping them off the better waves.
Sitting on them,
Yeah,
sit on them.
and taking off on the better waves
Yeah.
where
Yeah, I mean it's a dog fight.
and they expect
I
you
kind
to
of like
give
that.
they expect you to give them that wave, and I'm like, no,
No,
it's
this
a
is a
contest.
contest.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
got to earn it.
you better get the other one and been out here to sit on me before I got that one.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's what, dude. It's Now
I love
you're
that.
bringing me back.
Yeah. So now it's strictly all priority, and it's all based on your level of surfing, but it kind of takes away a little bit because the ocean is dynamic. And
When it's slow, it gets into a dogfight. Like if it's not a good day and it's a little slow, that's a dogfight. And sometimes it's very strategic. Like you need a kind of a coach, and you're looking to the beach. Hey, over here, whoa, over here, stop, hold, do this, don't, and
yeah,
not this one, the outback.
it's
And
probably
it's a
I
lot.
moved I moved from Pismo Beach
Yeah.
to Waco and to surf the wave pool, and
Yeah.
part of the reason why I did that is because I kind of got tired a little bit of the paddle battle, but tell you the truth, I missed it. I didn't enjoy sitting there being told, okay, it's your turn,
Yeah.
and then everybody's taking a turn. I missed the battle. I missed
Yeah.
the paddle battle.
Yeah.
Because I was good at it. Because when you've been surfing for 30 years, at the same location, you really know what that wave is going to do. And
Yeah.
so you learn how to paddle battle.
Yeah, it's burning them out. And the same thing with holding a peak where we have the jetty. It's like if you're a good surfer and you have one or two guys and you're out paddling everybody else that haven't figured out who's really owning this peak,
Mm-hmm.
and two other guys are rotating. It keeps everybody off of it, and that's how the locals get their waves. It's it's not by just yelling, and that's what I think
Yeah.
is the difference. There's some guys that yell more, and they're probably just having a bad day of surfing, or they're a local that isn't having enough waves when 400 of your best friends from
Yeah.
wherever show up as well.
Here, you want me to read the text message I just got today?
Yes, sir.
I won't say too much or where. It says, he said, hold on, here it is. Come on, give it to me. It's almost there. Uh, the guy was talking about a local in the water, and he was screaming at me, and I told him he needs to go hang out with the teenagers. They know how to handle those locals. He said he was screaming at every single person in the water. I don't think he was happy and having a good day.
Yeah. I mean, people just get frustrated. It's a long drive to come and not get waves at Fort Pierce.
This
And
was in Puerto Rico.
oh, well, Puerto Rico, you don't really have a shot to say anything. That's their island.
So he's actually
And,
staying. He's
and the more
staying.
whining, the more fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, just give them, like we said before, give them all the opportunity. You show up in their field, and if you're patient enough and you work hard at a wave that you outposition them and they give it to you, take your time getting back out.
Yeah.
And then give them a couple of waves easy, so it's not a competition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, I like to be persistent and aggro and stuff when it's, you're on, but you're gonna have to fit that structure, like their structure, not yours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Exactly. I do have one little story. I did drop in on Peter Mel once at Santa Cruz.
oh boy.
Yeah, and when we arrived, my friend's like, "Hey, do you know about the localism here? You know, because Santa Cruz is pretty
Yeah.
heavy." And I was like, "Yeah, it's okay. I got a hotline wetsuit. I'm gonna be okay." And so I'm sitting out there, and I'm sitting right next to Peter Mel's son, and so it's at second peak, and he taken off on first peak, and so they weren't really connecting, and so I figured, it was my turn to go. It's not going to connect, but this wave happened to be a bigger set, and it was connecting. So as I was dropping in, Peter Mel went to do a big turn, and he lost his footing, and his board went all the way to the beach because he didn't have a leash on.
Yeah.
Oh man, he paddled back out and went right at me, and I was like, "Sorry, dude," but he was taking off on like every single wave,
Yeah.
and everybody was backing off for him. And hey, you know what? He's a pro surfer. He should be able to just go do an aerial right around me. I shouldn't. I'm going on the next one.
Maybe it was. I don't test those limits, dude.
Yeah.
And that's probably I've had a learning curve too. Young, when Reef Road was going off, my uncle used to take me there. I used to surf there on every pretty good refraction swell when I was about like 12, 13. And yeah, when it gets crowded, and the guys just finished getting done yelling for 8 guys to get off where his section of the wave is, and you're looking and there's 30 people trying, backing out. Sometimes you can't see down that line where why they're backing out, and then there's another section. They're like, "Yeah, they're not gonna make that. Let me go."
Yeah.
And here comes a local 45 miles an hour, like about to hit it, or a speed floater and make a section that you wouldn't think,
Yeah.
and then you got a problem.
Yeah.
But it's just
I got another clip for you guys.
oh boy,
Oh boy.
let's check
Here we
this out.
go.
So this is the Native Hawaiian Council advancement. See how many
Tend to have
localism
to
is so
people I
bad, they
meet
made
or
up
kids
whole
that
council about
I
telling kooks to
connect
go.
with. I tend to have to cut their hearts a little bit. I have to make them feel the pain and give them the hurt so that they know that these things is not guaranteed to you, and you know what it feels like to lose it. So train you to fight, basically. And we get that young coming up with Pele Boy. And our young
The volume on the clip is off.
step into the front, and sometimes we gotta recognize as the older guys who say, hey, they come to the front, we will step back, but help carry them along. Because when we fall, they don't want to be there. And yet, again, we offer to them the burden to carry the responsibility. You know, and you care about your dreams in your water, guess what? You won't carry a burden your whole life. You're gonna hand that burden over to your kid because it.
Yeah, and that's a good point as well. And with the amount of people in that come up to North Jetty, it's like very important to burn, get all the everyone separated, own the peak until they come out, and then you go in, take a water break, let them get 30 minutes, and then you come back out. Make sure that peak's still separated and dominated, because if you lose that,
Yeah.
all we're gonna have is 400 people just dropping left into the rights of people,
Yeah.
and no one, everybody else, like even the little groms, they don't know where the safe place is. They're, they don't know where the main peak is going to be, to let them know where this peak is working. And
Yeah.
they, it's all about all the locals, take care of the locals, and just make sure. I mean, it's just safety,
Mm,
more safety.
Yeah, nothing's fun about having five guys paddle for the same wave. It's like like you back off and there's and then the next guy gets in line.
A lot of us will just start yelling, "Yeah, yeah, Grammy, get it," and then everybody starts just, okay, all right, they're calling this kid into one.
Yeah.
We're not gonna mess with it, and that you see that a lot too. So the locals are very important. It's a ecosystem, and
Necessary.
the top guys definitely wait and get the best waves, and
It
the
keeps
next
it
one's in
safe.
line.
It keeps it safe.
Yeah.
Because there has to be a rotation. Because that way you get your own wave. You're not getting five people dropping in. Today the surfboards are not as pointy as they were back in my day.
We even had those diamond tips. They were so sharp.
Y- Yeah, and so very dangerous. Today is not as dangerous. I
Oh, it was straight warfare out there. Everybody was very competitive. And okay.
not unless you want to fight.
Yeah, you gotta be top dog. Oh yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah.
That's funny. Exactly. Yeah, it's yeah, exactly. Um, yeah,
Yeah, I don't think it's okay to just drop in on them because now you're just creating a hazard. But what you do is you just don't let them. You have a talk with them.
yeah.
You just gotta have a talk. You know, you got to let them know that there's a pecking order, and we've been waiting. It's our turn, and the next wave comes. You want to go down the beach, or you're gonna wait your turn.
If you'd have to be crazy to come up in one of our peaks where you see 12 guys, all the best surfers of that break,
Yeah,
so to say, and a couple of their girlfriends or moms and stuff, then they're all in that peak. We take care of, we give mama's got to get her wave too.
Yeah.
So it's my job to make sure to out paddle everybody to make sure I'm back at that peak, and
Mhm.
everybody else isn't just swooping in after I get one to get theirs, because there's other people that you don't know that's a part of the our whole community
Yeah.
that are about to get their chance as well. It's not always the best surfer that gets the wave.
No.
It's some it's just spreading the lineup. So always definitely take a look at any place you go and it's packed.
Yeah.
And if you see me surfing by myself and nobody around, feel free to paddle up next to me and say hi. I'm one of the nicest people out in the water. I got a weird bitch face that with eyebrows that make me look mean all the time, but I'm not. I'm just thinking. I'm just trying to go, and it's fun. It's bring that energy in too. And we trade off, like I said, guys out of Miami. They know it's bombing, even though we're running a fast heat. It's basically a fast heat of like same peak with multiple guys. We take turns.
Yeah.
And if we know each other, they might, hey, and there's coming in, they'll hang out until they get a good one, because they know that I'm on a really good peak.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you will get one.
Exactly.
But make sure that everybody else in that our community right behind us will get theirs as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Once I got to surf with Buttons out at Alamona,
Yeah.
and Buttons is paddling me out past about 300 heavy locals,
Yeah.
all Hawaiian, and he turns to them and says, "Hallie's with me," and so they all let me paddle past them, because typically a Hallie wouldn't have the opportunity to paddle them out further than them.
Yeah.
But Buttons let them know that he was with me. We get out to the furthest peak, and Reno Umbrella is sitting out there, the famous big wave surfer, Waimea Bay.
Yeah.
Eddie Winter, I believe.
I have heard that name. Yeah.
Yeah, he's sitting the deepest. No one sits deeper than him. And Buttons asked me if I knew him. I said, of course, he's legendary. And Reno looks at me and says, "Hey, bro, come sit next to me. You get the next wave." And I go, "Oh, no, no, no," and but he let me catch the wave of my life. I never forget. I'm going 600 miles an hour down Alamona Bowls, past 300 locals, and that
That's
would
the
never happen without them giving that wave to
and
me.
that wave is nuts. Dude. That's at the inlet right there.
But see, you
Right?
wouldn't paddle out there unless you're invited out there.
Yeah.
And you gotta understand the pecking order.
Yeah, and the more friends you meet here, surfing is a very small world. You'll see them at the same, like if you get a problem with somebody, their brother probably owns a surf camp in Costa, Nicaragua, or you're gonna see the same people around.
Mhm.
And if they're good enough and this is what you're aspiring to do, always respect, because you'll never know when it comes back around. You might get your rental truck broken into in Puerto Rico, or your truck's swamped in a river or mud in Nicaragua, and guess what? These are the same people
Mhm.
that will remember. We don't really usually forget faces.
No.
Like,
Names,
yeah,
not
names.
faces.
Make your surfing stand out, and if
Mhm.
you're good enough, and you timed it perfect, and there's a good swell set coming in, and you're in the position, and you're worked for that
Yeah.
because nobody else did,
Yeah.
and you're still out or up up the sandbar or up in bowl,
Yeah.
you'll get it. No one's gonna give you any problems.
No.
And that's
And they expect you to. They expect you to capitalize on that.
yeah.
You know.
If you work hard, yeah. But that's the other thing. We don't want every 6 guys coming together in one truck trying to
No.
work hard on the rest of our peak either. So there's a fine balance. Show up
Never surf.
with
Never surf with more than 2 people.
2 people.
Yeah. It's not-
two, three's company, two,
Yeah.
it's
Two's
two.
even crowded.
Two's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually want to talk about a recent situation, but I can't, that I've seen. So I don't even know what happened with that. They might be, you never know. Like, it's a lot, dude. And you'll find all of us we are so relaxed. This is what we love to do.
Mhm.
And if everybody, we love enjoying watching people with longboards try on some waves that we can't get to. We're
Mhm.
like, no, you make it, you make it. If you don't, and majority of the time you don't.
Yeah.
But we'll hoot them in to see
Mhm.
it, and it's enjoyment. It's all just like all grouped energy, dude. And
Yeah.
I surf with tons of people when I don't have enough locals in Fort Pierce sometimes to run a peak,
Yeah.
but I do know a couple other good surfers, and that are there that day.
Yeah.
We see it, and we'll sit next to each other, and we'll run the peak.
Yeah.
Like, he knows the structure.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just the one local doing it.
No.
Sometimes I need guys.
It's a stranger. Yeah.
Dude, Fort Pierce, after I broke my back and I came back like 4 years later, there was zero structure. Like,
Yeah.
zero.
I
I
can see
don't
that.
know how. Yeah, you did. That's what you were explaining to me
Yeah.
earlier. And I was like, who was in charge of this place, dude? What was going on?
Mhm.
Well, Charles is always he has his own peak.
Yeah.
And that's Chief Charles. It's not his job to go down the beach and do it, but it's just, you got to get in there. And there's some people and I think that, like, when I'm running a peak or something, and a couple of us are running a peak together, the younger bucks come up under, or they're a little bit aside, or they're one peak over, that gives them a chance as well to run their peak as well, and they get the feeling of it. And
Yeah.
because what am I going to do if I get hurt on my back again? Another 4 years go by. They need to know how to do this.
Yeah.
Because it's the same way that you need to surf at every other break too, from the start. It's just
Yeah. I think it actually just keeps the place safer. A free for all. Free fall.
don't drop in on chicks. That's going to be your biggest number one, I think, at the jetty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay, that's good advice.
Yeah.
I don't think dropping in on anybody is good.
No.
You should be in position.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if you see a chick and they're in that crowd,
Yeah.
that's somebody's girlfriend. And then,
Yeah.
she doesn't get that much waves fighting all the Groms and us and everybody else all together. And she's probably got a baby on the
Boys don't need
beach.
to be
She's only
battling
got
out the
30
girls.
minutes to come out while her husband or boyfriend is on the beach.
Yeah.
And because they're switching off watching the babies, she goes out there for 30, 45 minutes, and hey, you just cut her off on her 30-minute. That girl will be more madder than anybody. And then her boyfriend's on the beach ready for you to come back in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just always, it's a safe way to, just like driving on, just like driving. You want to be a dick and cut somebody off, or not let them merge, or
Yeah.
get in the way, like pull out in front of somebody, basically cutting them off, and then bam, hit your blinker for the first turn. And now it's like
Now, I do have to ask you that being from California and
Yeah.
driving here in Florida, I mean, there seems to be a lot of accidents here in Vero Beach. And-
Oh, dude, it's been because I don't think you can blame that on Florida because
no,
there's only 7 of us left.
yeah, okay, gotcha. Um, uh, I do notice though that people do drive faster in the slow lane than they do in the fast lane.
Yeah. So let me explain 95 to you. Fucking, it's excuse me. The fast lane is 80 minimum. If you don't do 80 minimum, get out of the fast lane. Middle lane, 80 minimum as well sometimes.
Yeah,
High, yeah, like it, fast lane 85 to 90 really if you want to get until you get around all the block traffic and then you go in the middle lane and just do 80.
yeah,
Then everybody that really is crazy, let them do 90 cuz that's going to be fine. And then slow lane is, 75
yeah,
whatever, but it's that's I think about the same way of surfing quite a bit of
yeah,
like letting someone go or push somebody out of the way and then get them in and then pull in front of them and let everybody else in the fast lane that wants to draft and go NASCAR because there's
yeah,
just like little blotches of traffic as you go down.
yeah,
Like if you're doing 80 in the fast lane, that's like the bare minimum you can do.
yeah.
That's the slowest you can go because so many trucks and stuff, everything else.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of crazy. I don't know. I used to drive from here to I-10 all the way up Florida I-10 to go to Louisiana, then down the bayou I did 20 days on tugboat, 20 days off. So
Mhm.
every 20 days or every 2 weeks sometimes if we had a busy job. I'm back and forth, so I drove a lot. So yeah, 84 miles an hour. You can go right by a state trooper. 84, not 85, 84. You
Yeah,
get radared at 84, they're not going to touch you. I'm not giving anybody advice, but I
yeah.
will say this. I drove a lot. So, have you surfed the west coast of Florida?
No, I haven't. No, I just moved here a year
Oh,
ago.
a year ago? Oh, so
Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff I can explain to you.
yeah,
Cool, dude.
yeah,
See, this is exactly what, dude, I'm stoked that you came here.
yeah.
Yeah. So this is what we're all about. I'm more than welcome to share a lot of different things. Florida is home for a lot of people, man, and it's hard to adjust if you don't get it. And if you're out in the water and you don't get the lineup and you get disgruntled, don't worry.
Yeah,
To be patient and you'll end up getting it. But the pecking order was one.
yeah.
Driving here is another thing I see a lot of people saying that's crazy.
The waves in Fort Pierce, they seem to be well, I'm not going to say this.
It's pretty much the most predominant wave, I would say, New Smyrna, and but um, it is consistent. And right now, I was really looking forward to catching some big swells. Florida's super different, so sometimes everywhere kind of works different. There's tons of breaks that are just as good as the waves that you would get at the jetty
Mm-hmm.
alone
Wow.
here. Like, so why? Well, why? Just because 20 people are out doesn't mean you're gonna get one, or it's gonna be better for you. I mean, I'd rather get 15 waves in 30 minutes than one.
Yeah,
So, it's definitely a competitor. It's the battle dome.
yeah.
It is. It
Um,
is.
Can we talk a little bit more about like the adaptive surfing
Yeah.
and
Do we
'cause-
have to run through that?
Oh no,
Did
what I
we miss his website and everything?
no no I want to talk about like where our adaptive movement is going and some of the mistakes I think that we're making, you know, in the adaptive movement. Yeah, I think one of the biggest mistakes that we're making, I think, in the adaptive movement is we got two pro tours that started at the same time, and
So what does that mean though? Like, what do you mean two pro tours? WSL is the world governing body of surfing.
yeah,
WSL. And then the ISA is like a world championship level criteria.
yeah.
So
So because we don't have a didn't have a governing body, two different organizations chose to become a pro tour rather than collaborating with each other and making one tour. Now we have two tours. So basically, who's the world champ? You know, when you have two tours, and that's one issue that you're gonna have is because with two tours, who's the real world champ? And then number two, uh, we have too many divisions. We have eight to 12 different divisions, and you know, I think and we need to be boiling it down to one division. I think it's up to the judges to be so educated that they know the difference between how an amputee below knee surfs compared to how an amputee missing an arm may surf, and know that the degree of difficulty that it takes to surf with a prosthetic foot versus missing an arm. And so the point system could be adjusted based on that disability, much like in golf.
Mhm.
I believe golf has a handicap,
Yeah.
you know, and so that person would be handicapped. And so everyone's surfing in one division. And the reason why I think that's important is because prize money. When you take a purse of $10,000 and you disperse it between eight different divisions,
Yeah.
everyone's going away. The winners are going away with $1,000, and yet it cost them $5,000 to fly to
Yeah.
Australia.
I think maybe they can get a algorithm to do a handicap and
Mhm.
just when it adds up, always have that already in.
But see,
Like,
what I'm saying is not going to be politically correct. It is not going to be well received within the community
right.
because everyone wants to be the winner, and so eight winners is better than one winner. But
You want to be about as competitive all the way through that it is.
I think in order to be a professional surfer, you got to walk away making more money than you spent.
Yeah.
And if you're so right now with two tours, and one of the tours has 12 events.
Right.
Who can afford 12 events around the world?
Yeah.
what is the entry fee for just an event?
$250.
Wow.
So not only is it $250 just to sign up to become this pro tour surfer on one of these leagues, then you have to spend another $250 for that event. You have to fly out there and get a hotel and basically you're going to spend 3 to 5 grand to possibly make $1,000. Now, how is that called pro surfing? Pro surfing is when you make money. And you know, and so if we are going to be a pro tour, someone needs to walk away with some money. You know, you know, ask any 80s pro surfer out there, and they're broke. they're all they're running surf schools, and yet they were world champ.
We're all commercial fishermen.
Yeah, because they didn't make any money. And so if you're going to be a pro surfer, you need to be making some money. And so I think what we need to do is we need to be pro surfers.
Do you think maybe like all agree on leg, upper leg, lower extremity, upper extremity, arm, visual could be already handicapped with a certain different point for and I'll agree with that. And so when somebody gets a score, he's this with this upper, and so he's +3
Yeah.
or +3, and this guy
Right.
he's got a 7
I
but a +2. Now we're double competing with your extremity, the disabilities, and your surfing as well.
Yeah.
And I think that would be the best way to
Yeah,
do
because
it.
when it comes to a maneuver, obviously somebody missing an arm is going to be capable of producing a better maneuver
Then a leg.
than somebody
sure.
missing a leg. Yeah.
So yeah,
And so rather than having all these different divisions, have one division, one pro tour, one big prize money, put all the money into that, and let someone walk
push.
away with some big money.
yeah,
You
and
know, because that's going to motivate another group. I'm not motivated to sell my house to go on a pro tour and lose money.
yeah,
That's not going to motivate me to go on the pro tour. But if I could walk away with 20 to 30 grand in my pocket,
yeah.
that's a good motivator. And and I know it's not all about money, but
Always rent your house. Always keep your house, but rent it.
yeah, yeah.
Don't sell. Not in the next 10 years.
Yeah, so it's my pet peeve, to say that we're pro surfers, but we're not making no money.
If it's like I said, I think you explained it very, and it's probably hard for a judge to start. Wait, what was that wave? Oh, he has this, and then do it in his head, and then lower the score or up the score, because then now I say the division should have a point handicap. That's what you're going at, and when you can,
I
when you're
agree.
top two, you could just add 3 or 4, or it's that would be really cool.
My reference too, after just watching the board riders event, and you can say this too,
Yes,
the
sir.
scale on the women
Was super
was
high,
at least a point higher.
which is weird, but
I
that's
mean,
probably why you should add your the chicks on your team. If it should be a
Yeah,
plus
we
one.
had
Should be
Aubrey
four guys plus one.
Rasmussen. I know Tori
Maybe.
Mills surfing the 15 and 19s before, and like two as well. Like what was it just last time? We could have had Brent Meinhold's girlfriend Ari surf in
Yeah.
the 20s, and we could have had any girl fill in the woman's at that point in time off the beach because
Just
we
for
were
extra
short
points.
220s, and
Oh
she's in
man,
the 20s.
I just go to the
Oh, I
beach
gotta-
bar and just be like, hey, you,
Where were you?
come paddle out.
Where were you?
You know what you need to do is just throw a wig on out there and put a ponytail in. Just be like, yeah. Go rip. Yeah, lowest paid golfer is still making about 175,000 easily a year. I mean,
Yeah.
no, I like that.
The scale, the woman, the scale. Like you could scale everyone to a certain degree.
Everyone can be scaled, and it's very important. Judges can get educated. That there's nothing wrong with educating the judges.
Yeah, I really like to. I would really like the handicap minus strokes or plus strokes, because now the judges aren't overthinking because now that scale is going to float into something else or this or that, and I think it's be structured straight up
I
and
think
down.
that's perfect. I think
Let
you're
them
spot on.
let them judge like they always judge, but at the total agree
It could
on
be an
the extra
algorithm,
points
like you were
here.
saying. It could be in like
+2, +3 for this one.
okay.
Plus,
So live
you
heats.
know,
If you're listening,
yeah,
you can adjust that for us.
yeah. Do just just
You
yeah.
know, they can put
There
in
you
the
go.
handicap.
That's
If
what
you're
it
going
is.
after
Yeah.
handicap,
Each
you know, +3,
lower extremity has um +2,
Mhm.
or upper has 1.
So
Yeah.
And then there's the scale, like
There you go.
bing bing.
where
Even
does
and now the judges can judge normally, and knowing at the end
It will be adjusted.
it will add up, and that's to the like the
Yeah.
judging algorithm that they have preset, and there you go.
Yeah, so for
That's
the
fair.
adaptive
Fair's fair.
surfers out, for the organizers for the adaptive event out there, we're throwing this out there.
Yeah,
You know, so
that's
this is up to you guys to take it to the next level now. You know, it's all about making your athletes some money. If you're gonna be a pro tour, someone has to walk away with making some money. You know, and right now, like with 12 events, only the surfers with with a lot of money are going to be able to do that.
yeah.
The best surfers are staying home.
Yeah.
So
But
what
if
you
they
have
know
is
they have that +3 chance, that
yeah.
gives a lot more people opportunity.
Yeah. You know, so you want to attract the best surfers in the world. You gotta get 'em some money, and you
Mhm.
gotta keep the events low. You gotta have more than 4 or 5 events.
Yeah.
You know, to allow them to afford to come. You
Uh,
know,
that says a lot about a lot of not just those contests. It's but that I would love to see that. If you guys do anything in Florida, I wanna do it with you guys.
all right.
so we've done 4,
Yeah.
and then
Okay.
Rodney did 3, but 4, and then last year we discovered there's got to be a whole new set of rules.
Yeah.
In November, it was the swell of the decade.
Yeah.
And it was the most insane thing. For one, they were charging, and at first there was no fear, and then we found out fear is a factor.
Yeah.
But they were charging, and they didn't stop them.
Yeah.
And so, like, Rodney, explain to us what we saw. And we don't have to worry about like the delay.
You have pictures?
I'm going to, yeah. I'm gonna
Yeah.
pull it
Yeah.
up. We don't have to worry about the delay and the details, but the fact of like how it went down and like how amazing that actually was, and an eye opener to like we can do this. It just takes a little bit different, maneuvering and adjusting during certain situations, or even date changing. We probably would have never run that if it was a pro adaptive event
yeah.
that day.
Um.
You tell me, would we have
Yeah.
run a
No.
yes.
No. These adaptive surfers want a run. They want to go out. And um. So we don't want to hinder someone who wants to go out.
Yeah.
You know, the scary part is when you have 5 guys that you don't know nothing about,
Mm-hmm.
and they're disabled and
Mm.
to the point where they can barely keep their head above the water,
Yeah.
and you got surf in the 8-foot range pounding on the shore.
Well, that usually takes care of itself.
Yeah, and that's true. And so I think that should be the way it goes. Let the ocean do the talking.
And then still +3 on the score, whatever he gets.
Yeah.
There you
So
go.
so no, I don't think we should be
Do you
handed.
remember any names and like or anything? I mean, yeah, I mean, sure, some names from the event
Yeah.
that we had. I'm looking for the photos right now.
Yeah, Sean Whitaker.
Yep.
Sean Whitaker is the Florida boy. He's the new champ. He is on the pro tour,
Nice.
and by the way, I have beat him a few times, but
Shout out.
in Oceanside.
Hey, there's nobody talking back to you. You're holding the microphone.
And so, Shawnee, I don't know if you remember that 2017. It was a good solid day out at Oceanside, and But
Does Ohana? That would be a
They
good
do the
add the adaptive. Are they
surfing
gonna
with-
do? Are they gonna do it this year? I'll talk to Jordan, and we
I mean,
probably
yeah,
get
that's actually a good
extra
idea.
heat.
We can get that set
That's
up.
gonna be
I'm
a
sure,
fun one.
I'm sure it wouldn't be that big of an issue
No,
to figure
not
out
at
how
all.
to do that.
Yeah,
but I think where we need to start is we need to have some qualifiers because we need to know like
who's dedicated and set?
yeah, we need to know who's just putting on the jersey, just to put on the jersey,
Yeah.
because you know, we can't have no one drown. You know, that's just
Yeah.
Here we go.
if-
you
Got a shot.
we need lifeguards
far.
as well there
Yeah.
as safety.
It's-
That's a not a dangerous, but it's a very exciting event. Especially with some serious swell. I would love to see how you drop in and take a different
any
stance
videos,
than a
Rodney, on
I would love to take it.
basically as an amputee videos, you could maybe Google my name and
Okay.
and put amputee surfer next to it because there is a weightlifter pretty famous out there with my name. But if you type in amputee surfer, you might find some videos. One uh, as an amputee surfer, we don't have the ability to pop straight to our feet
Yeah,
because to get that prosthetic leg underneath
Mhm.
you kind of is a task
Yeah.
that's kind of hard to do.
Yeah.
So what we do is we kind of like bring our knees up first, and then we kind of use that as a tool to plant that back or front foot.
Yeah.
And so I remember working with Sean Thompson one day at a wounded soldier event, and Sean Thompson was teaching the pop-up method to a group of wounded soldiers,
yeah,
and he was showing him the pop-up, and I was like, Mr. Thompson, do you mind if I show you kind of a different technique of getting up to your feet as an amputee? And he looked at me and he said, "Oh, okay, sure." And and so here I am, kind of like schooling the world champ.
yeah.
But he doesn't understand. That an amputee can't just pop up.
That would be a really good. Also, we can somebody can we can do an able body.
Mm-hmm.
They're not allowed to use their right arm,
Yeah,
and let's go surf.
yeah,
Left arm, or
yeah. To see how it feels.
yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be really that would be
blind
really-
yourself and see how well
Yeah.
you do.
Get those beer goggles from the police department that they put on people's faces to do those road courses
Yeah,
and see how they react. Put those on, and your no left arm.
yeah.
Let's go.
And
And you don't get a handicap +2 or +3.
tie one of your legs behind.
Oh, I wouldn't. You would have to. I was thinking about that in my head. I'm like, I think you can just only because if you're out there, you don't know how to swim with one arm. They're not going to. They're not going to know that. They'll have to. But we'll pay attention to person that if they don't want to surf with left arm.
This is
watch the
Shell
whole
Beach,
time.
just north of Pismo Beach, and it's a little reef spot. Basically, I'm out there by myself, one other guy. The wave is actually bigger than it looks. The GoPro camera makes the waves look really small.
I've seen that even on like Nathan Florence's. I'm like, wow, this is supposed to be a 30-foot.
Yeah.
So what made you move over here?
I moved here first I moved to Texas,
Oh yeah.
and I moved to Waco.
Oh shit.
Started surfing the wave pool.
But that's when Shane Magnuson was there, or
I know
just left.
he already left.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Magnuson.
Uh,
Shane Magnuson.
basically, I was a fan of the Fixer Upper show.
Oh, yes.
And I went out there and and you could buy a house there for 120,000.
Yeah.
And I Airbnb, and I was making like 5,000 a month off a house. I was only paying $800 in mortgage.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So it was a no brainer. I bought 3 houses.
Yeah.
So I was making like over 10 grand a month.
Yeah. God.
And yeah, so
Let's
I
go
was
out to
able to flip.
dinner. Let's go out to dinner.
Yeah. So I was able to flip 3 houses there, and I made a killing.
Yeah.
I love, California bankrupt me out. California.
How could you 20% tax?
Well, they shut down COVID.
Oh yeah.
They shut down my
Airbnbs. Yeah.
and my school.
Yeah.
And basically, they told I asked my wife. They shut us down on the 20th of March, and I asked my wife, "Hey, how much money do we got?" And she said none. I go, "Wait a minute. We've been running a business now for 20 years. What do you mean we don't got no money?" And she says, "Well, Rodney, the first 10 days of a business pays the rent. The second 10 days pays the employees, and we get to keep the last 10 days. And they shut me down on the 10th, on the 20th. So we didn't get a chance to make our monthly money. So we don't have any money." So I'm like, "How are we going to pay rent?"
Yeah.
And so I didn't want to but they were telling people to let the landlords let you owe them the money.
That's insane.
I'm like, that's insane. I'm not gonna like get into COVID and go back a year later.
Hey, they can fund Ukraine war. They can pay the landowners if during shutdown.
Yeah, so we decided to move to Texas, and 2 weeks later they let us open up, and we went back in business. And I bought 3 houses, and I
You
went.
still own over there?
Well, my wife don't let me like to talk about.
Okay. Yeah.
but
Yeah. Oh,
I left. I went to Texas
Let's
for
go to
30
Waco.
grand, and I left at 300.
Where
There
can
you
we
go.
find? I know that your wife doesn't want you to talk about it. Where can we find your wife's information? And is it online? Is it
It's
Facebook?
Connie, right?
It's Carmen Roller,
Carmen.
and she's a
Yes.
hairstylist here now in Vero Beach, and her website is www.zada salon spa.com.
And what does she do exactly? Like,
She is a hairstylist. She's been a hairstylist for now 30 years. She's owned huge salons in LA and Pismo Beach and Texas now. So she's licensed in 3 different states. And so she's a hairstylist. She does facials. She does she's actually a massage therapist. So she does massage therapy and everything related to salon and spa.
so basically, it's perfect for bridal parties, women's retire retreatments, etc. The packages are perfect for the relaxing experience with the beautiful Vero Beach.
Yes, you must be reading from her website.
Absolutely.
That's
It
a
looks
good.
great.
This is a
I
good
mean,
place for it.
everyone's checking it out right now
Yes.
on our screen as well.
Tons of people come to Florida and especially this area to
Yeah.
for bridal showers and their weddings and everything. So I hope you guys the best and
She has so much fun, and she started when she was 15 years old.
wow.
My wife is a first generation Mexican American. She came here. Her mother came here, and my wife was born here, so she's the first generation American. And she, at the age of 15, she decided that school wasn't working for her.
hmm
And so she asked her mom, "Can I quit school?" And your mom says, like, "What are you gonna do?" She's like, opens up a book and says, "I want to be a hairstylist."
Yeah.
And so she got her GED, went to work at the best hair salon in LA, and now she basically educated herself by being a hardworking,
Yeah.
what moving up the ladder, and opened up her own salon 4 or 5 years later. She ended up with over 20 different stylists at her salon, and so she's been at it ever since.
Carmen. Shout out to Carmen.
Yeah.
Um Wow. And up here is really cool area for especially knowing that history. And I know a lot of people in the Vero area would love to take a look at her shop and everything. Gloria Stefan's place is not too far from here.
Yeah.
When she opened up, that was pretty a cool place. So
It's our favorite hotel.
yeah, that's where all the weddings go down, dude.
Yeah.
That's so you're in a perfect spot for both. So, have you surfed in Vero? Have you figured out your little local break almost that's somewhat manageable other than shore break of South Beach?
I've been surfing Fort Pierce, and
Yeah.
I've had the hardest time because I'm used to like in California, I'm used to surfing out back,
Yeah.
and I'm used to like taking 2 to 3 strokes.
Yeah.
And getting to my feet and getting my feet in the whack
Yeah.
and make a couple little turns, drink a cup of coffee, you know.
Yeah.
And then it starts to turn on,
Yeah.
you know.
Get in a rhythm.
Yeah. We're here. Yeah, I'm paddling 10 to 20 strokes, and then all of a sudden it hits the shore, and it looks like it's only a foot deep, and I'm like, oh, for one, I'm half dead by that time.
Well, if you see me on the water, like I said, we'll split the peak for you. You come right up in the home spot, and do whatever you want, doggy.
And then, not to mention the sharks, you add some sharks to the
There's
mix.
a little bit of sharks. There's a
You
little
have
bit
any
of sharks.
experiences with the sharks?
Yeah. One day I was out there, and I see about 1,000 fish just jump out of the water, and I'm
Mullet.
like, oh my god, what? And all of a sudden, 3 fins pop up
Yeah.
right next to them, and so apparently the sharks were chasing the fish,
Okay.
and the fish were jumping out of the water.
Yeah.
And this is closer to the beach than we are.
Yeah.
So this ain't like it's out in the deep.
No.
This is like right next to the shore.
Yeah, it's called the Mullet Run.
Yeah.
And once it's September to October, it's once those bait come in, they
Are you familiar with
migrate
that,
from the
Rodney?
north to
I've never
south.
seen that before.
Oh, my
So
goodness.
all late September,
They eat
in
the mullet
October.
roe.
Tons of tarpon.
Yeah,
We'll go. You'll see tons of tarpon blowing up on them, jacks, snook,
And none
a
of the
lot
surfers
of
moved.
sharks.
No one moved. They all sat there and
Let
just
them pass underneath you. You get your hands and feet up,
Yeah.
and let the bait pass underneath you without splashing too much, because in 2 seconds the tarpon and the shark will come up in feeding frenzy all at once.
In California, in 30 years, I've never seen a shark. I've never seen. And if we see it, if there's even a sighting of a shark, the beach is closed.
Wow. Yeah, so this is what's called Mullet Run, and they will come in. I remember when I was a kid, my first bad experience with getting stuck in one of these pods of bait. And the sharks know you're not bait, but if you're in the middle of that and they go into a frenzy, expect a nibble. If I mean, not 100% positive or anything, but just
Yeah.
if you see bait, and this is for swimmers,
Mhm.
it's if you have your kids at the beach and you know there's bait in the water, they're usually pushed into the trough or alongside the beach, and I have to come up to a lot of people and say, "Hey, the mullet run is going on. There's a lot of bait," and sometimes it's not the mullet run. Just look for bait, and if it's close to the shore, there's usually something else feeding on it, pushing it to the shore. So so that's something to look out for. Get ready. We're gonna go fishing, and next year, this upcoming year, September, we'll go snook fishing and tarpon fishing off the beach and see it all go down.
Nice.
Yeah, man, let's do it. So this is the this is the heat with Zeke that
Did he already do the air? Did you see it?
I did not was not paying attention.
It's gonna come up if you didn't see it, because I just changed it.
Are they seeing it on their screen?
I'm about to give it to him.
Okay. So this looks like it cleaned this morning at Pismo.
Yeah.
It cleaned out. This is what it traditionally kind of looks like more, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
What are you guys looking at
Does
on your
it-
screen?
Is there a pretty we're looking at a shark bite right now. Who's that?
I don't know. Who is that? Oh, that's Sebastian Inlet.
Oh wow.
Look at it.
I got the
this
story of what
guy?
that guy did in New Smyrna.
What does this story say?
2
surfers of
He
Sebastian
was
Inlet.
dropping in
Brandon Taylor.
and went to
That's
jump
Brandon
off.
Taylor?
Jump
Look
off.
at that
No way.
Oh, there he is on the soft top. Just did the air.
Oh, you're much younger on that right there, huh?
Hell yeah.
When was that?
What does the date say on here? It says surfers
TC
two
bomb.
get bit one day before on a Monday named Brandon, on Tuesday named Brandon, a different surfer.
Same.
Same name. How weird.
Yeah. They
14.
didn't-
I got 14 stitches on the top and 2 different puncture wounds on the bottom.
Just
of my
a
arm.
black tip.
Yeah, I didn't even see it. I was only in the water for 45 seconds.
That's because you just jumped in that trough and went to stick your arm in right in that paddle, huh?
I mean, basically.
Wham. Yep.
What kind of board are you riding right now, Rodney?
I'm riding a 10-foot soft board because I have to learn to catch some more waves. You know.
Here
How?
it is. There's a
It's the little pop. Shove it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That didn't go too well when I think his name was Todd Robinson.
I think they talk about that, a 9-foot board in the heat back in the day.
Back in 1987
they
at
just
the
talked
OP
about.
Pro. Yeah, that didn't go too well.
They said that. They're gonna
Are-
do the interview. We'll watch the interview.
Yeah,
Are they able to get a little bit of the
they
you want a
typically won't
replay?
score that very well because they don't like that.
No, they scored a 2
really
on it.
so what happened? Because a bigger board, I've seen guys they're doing that mid cut kind of, and there might be quads and just a bigger, like a board that an older guy would ride at Malibu, or
Mhm.
short board, but 7, 8, and just killing it. I mean, they ride it good. It's just
Yeah.
was it like that, or was it like a
No, he
long-
was killing it. He was killing, much like Zeke was killing it
Yeah.
on that way. But see, Ted Robinson.
And it wasn't a long board.
It
It
was
kinda
on
like
longboard. He broke out a longboard, 1987 OP Pro,
shoot,
and
run what you got, I guess.
and the judges were not too happy about it. And
Did he? I mean, if you're gonna paddle battle,
No.
you're gonna paddle battle and you got a longboard, you're out paddling them for sure,
yeah,
and getting it way out back. So priority was on him on all those waves. So I can see the debate on it.
yeah,
And if you still rip and competitive, it makes it even worse. So
yeah. And I experienced it too as a shadow judge at the ISA. I got the shadow judge,
Okay.
and one of the finalists was on longboard,
yeah,
and he was getting scored very, very low for the type he was surfing. To me, he was out surfing the shortboarders, and and sometimes longboarders can out surf the shortboarders. It's just it has to do with the wave.
yeah.
And,
Where was this at?
this was in La Jolla?
Oh yeah, I can
And-
definitely see that happen.
Yeah, and it was a small day, and so the longboarder was just out there ripping, and they were giving him just low scores on purpose, and I didn't think that was right because, he was ripping,
And that's their guy representing their like he's a longboarder, so he's representing his country is surfing. So he's in the heat.
Yeah.
Either way.
Exactly. And so, judges do want to see kind of, the same type of boards being used, That's,
Yeah.
still a controversy, pro surfers won't take the risk. They're gonna all surf the same board. It ain't worth the risk. Shane Horan, ask him.
Yeah.
He surfed a single fin for 4 years too long when Mark Richards
Yeah. Exactly.
kept taking the title from him.
Then yeah, some waves need adjustment. Different your board quiver, it can be adjusted as well depending on the wave. I see a lot of people, and like I can ride a bigger board out in California because it's more down the line. It creates more drive than here. I'm riding the same leader, but not the length, but fatter and shorter. So that's the difference that I would like on a point break pavone is you can like a 6'1", like, you can really just create some long drives and draw out your bottom turns a lot different. And it just kind of adapts to the wave, really, instead of riding a shorter one. And it's a long paddle, too. So it's helping you
Yeah.
in a lot of different ways. But have you ever been to Punta Valleys?
No, it's my goal to get,
That's a good one, dude.
yeah.
That's a good one.
To where?
Easy,
Pavones?
easy. That might be one of a pro event for you,
Yeah.
you guys. I
Yeah.
think.
I think so.
That's what I was actually going to ask. Where have you been traveled in the past?
In the past I've done mostly Hawaii. That's in California. You basically go to Hawaii. So I've been to all the islands, Kauai, Oahu, Maui. Um,
Where's the
Mexico.
Where's the California spot that you saw that really adapted to the adapted the adapted to the
For the adaptive
adapted?
surfers. That's a hard one because California has a lot of rocks.
Yeah.
And access is very difficult at most spots. And I remember talking about that, and it's frowned upon creating access because California prides itself on no access.
Yeah, it's weird.
Because they want to make it hard to get in the water.
They do because high end real estate.
Yeah.
They do. No parking,
Yeah.
limited access.
Exactly. And so, but I like Santa Cruz. I like Santa Cruz. Steamer's Lane.
Steamer's Lane.
Yeah.
That's a easy on a wave down the line.
You can paddle out down by the pier where the waves don't break. And so it's a long paddle out there, but once you get out there, you can avoid the whitewash.
Yeah.
And then you take off at Middle Peak, and you can avoid the locals because you're going to sit right next to the cliff.
Right.
So yeah, Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz. Is there a spot that you guys have been? I bet there's a lot of consideration when you guys set up these contests to think about that. What kind of wave it is for all the divisions that you have, and the spot. Where do you think the best contest that you've been so far has been?
And Santa
Cruz
and Oahu, and Honolulu.
Yeah.
And you get a nice summer swell.
Yeah.
And it can get like 6, 7, 8 foot. It can get to 15, 20 feet in Oahu. There's my friend Richard Julian.
Yeah, man.
As a matter of fact, he has my shirt on right there. Operation Restoration.
Yeah,
That's
boy.
me.
And they're checking it out right now, too.
Cool.
Live. Hey, say hi to Jurgens. He's on.
Yeah.
What up,
Yeah.
Haley? Shay
What's up, Haley?
Edwards. Shay Edwards. Hold on, look at
Christian.
this, Shay. Sorry, guys. I want to show Shay this real quick. Dang, look at that guy. Wow.
Ah,
State champ right there, junior
Wow.
pro.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
boys.
Keep it.
Haley
Keep that
said,
fire
yeah,
burning.
boys.
yeah.
Haley's going on Tuesday or next Tuesday
Okay.
or next Sunday, right, Haley? All right.
Yeah.
We'll set
Tell
it
me
up.
the shop. We'll do it live.
We're live. All right, go ahead. Sorry about that, boys, again.
So again,
I love that turn because where he begins to turn.
Did you judge that wave, Rodney?
I believe I did. I love where how he begins to turn 10 feet, 20 feet back. You know, you can see the turn where he begins to aim for his spot, and then how he just goes up there and puts it on rail. I mean, that's a drawn out turn. That's not just a snap.
yeah. Speed checking, and I guarantee you he came straight to the bottom and then came right back up. 'Cause that's the kind of surfing that California is.
So this is it is a Wahoo.
See too much.
Access Surf, I won the very first adaptive inaugural event. When,
Yes, sir.
When they had us all surfing in the same heat. But now they have us surfing in different divisions.
What is this guy?
That guy is
Just a
he's paralyzed.
is that a cat? A
And
different
he
division?
rips.
Yeah, different divisions. One surfing on his knees because he's above the knee, but he chooses to surf without a leg.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So he's knee boarding.
So you got to give him an extra point or less on.
I would say he has the advantage
Yeah.
because he's surfing on his knees.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have a far. He doesn't
I
have. far
actually
enough.
agree. Yeah, and to pivot off a prosthetic is probably
Yeah,
harder.
and he doesn't have to. His board is a lot shorter. You know, and so he has the most advantage. I'm thinking about pulling my prosthetic leg off and surfing.
Yeah,
Because I mean, you kill it that way.
you get a lot more barrels.
Yeah.
What about like I mean, just to like kind of go off of obviously everything, but I mean, everyone's knees get bad to a certain degree, and stand-up paddleboarding is a good question. And not only that, I think you get so much better exercise from stand-up paddleboarding than you would from regular surfing.
Yeah.
Like you use literally every little core muscle that you can. But I mean, you're obviously going to get different muscles worked out. But how do you feel about like stand-up paddleboarding adaptive? Would that be like, obviously it'd be harder if you had upper extremity issues, but there are probably a lot of guys that rip stand-up paddleboarding that with adaptive, correct?
No.
Okay. Is it
I
tougher?
I would think it would be.
I think you need 2 arms and 2 legs.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're I mean, like standing, like you. If you stood up paddleboard and you practice every day, you'd probably be pretty good, right?
Yeah, I stand up paddle and you
Correct.
know, yeah, and yeah, but it just hasn't you know
They want to surf.
They want to surf.
Okay.
You know,
And
the surfing movement. You know, it's big now with the adaptive, and you know, and they want to surf, so they don't want to be handicapped.
Yeah.
They you know they want to surf, you know, normal breaks. When we're out there, we want to surf right next to the other guy. We don't want you giving us away because we're handicapped. We want to earn our way in the lineup, you know, and so we want to be treated just like anybody else. Because matter of fact, that's how we see. That's why I fell in love with it because on land playing basketball, I'm gonna get smoked.
Yeah.
Go out in the water.
Level playing field.
Yeah, level playing field. Yeah.
I think it's great. You know, in drag racing, like how to they put the times up, and then you can enter whatever you want. Like if you're better, you can enter like a less of a maybe a handicap finishing score, or let's start in here or there. And I think that what
Mhm.
you're saying, to get all of them all into one heat, you can watch different divisions go against each other. I
Mhm.
think you're very much onto something.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I would love to be involved in the next one. Are you guys have anything in date in around?
Brandon is. Yep, we have a Florida adaptive Florida state surf team, and we also have the Florida state surfing championships that allows us to crown a state champ.
Now, is what qualifies you? And because we were told when you showed up, I was saying, yeah, I have L5S1 fusion with a cage and titanium stuff in my back. What and you we talked about blind vision, um, deaf, but that was I don't that still I guess do they where
Qualifies you to be that
yeah
Yeah.
because that's very people ask that. Oh, what does it even mean?
Yeah. Well, in order to be on the pro tour, you have to be certified. They have a doctor that will
okay
certify your disability, and it has to fit in a certain category.
right
And so, if it doesn't, if it's not in that category, you won't qualify. So the category is limited. Uh, mostly to missing limbs.
yeah
Uh, versus like of infused
yeah
bone
yeah
might not qualify.
yeah.
Um, so
Well, that was one of my questions. I was like, when is this tour starting?
yeah,
But yeah. So how many do you have? A lot of visually impaired um board riders that are assisted, like you were saying
yes.
earlier. So they were assisted.
I actually trained one of the guys from Italy came for the ISA World Games,
Mhm.
and I was coaching him. And so basically, if I can remember correctly, how I was coaching him is let's see, it's by a clock system.
Okay.
And so if I wanted him to paddle straight, I would say paddle at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
And if he was at an angle and the wave was coming in straight, and I
Mm-hmm.
needed him to uh, d- uh, fix his angle,
Yeah. Deviate
you
a
know,
little bit. Yeah.
yeah, so he wouldn't get bowled over by the
Yeah.
wave,
Exactly.
I would say paddle towards 6 o'clock. And so if he was at 9 o'clock, would adjust him back to 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
So let's say he's at 1 o'clock, I would adjust him back to 6. So 6 would be straight to the beach. 12 o'clock would be paddling out. Yeah, I'm in the water with him.
You're
I'm
in the water.
paddling with him. I'm basically surfing with him, but he's doing all the paddling. He's doing everything, but I'm letting him know, like, here comes the wave. 1, 2, 3, paddle. 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. You know, and it looks like it's gonna be a left. Looks like it's gonna be a right, and
Mhm.
then he would make the adjustments from there.
Yeah. Was he previously visually impaired to know, or did he surf? Was has
He learned blind.
learned blind? Wow.
Yeah.
Because I always think if I ever got my eyes messed up, like my buddy I was talking about mountain biking and taking a hard fall, the lenses of back of his eyes actually blew out, and they had to do major surgery. And we were talking about like, I want to know the feeling of previously really surfing. I want to know if you might be able to feel that back to get down the line somehow.
A blind surfer is gonna really rely on its coach. He
Yeah.
has it. The coach is everything. It's the coach
Oh,
that
yeah,
wins.
yeah.
You know, because the coach is gonna make the adjustments for him. Because imagine not knowing which way the beach is.
Yeah.
Like like
Oh, you're just hearing. You can tell where the waves are breaking, and you're all at every other sense
yeah.
high.
And you hear the wave coming, but you don't know from what angle. And then all of a sudden, it hits you from the side, and it rolls you over like a rag doll.
Yeah.
You need to answer that call.
No.
Okay.
Um. And this is Cocoa Beach.
This is
Oh, that's
last year.
Sean Whitaker?
Yeah, this is last year
That's
at
Sean
our Cocoa
Whitaker.
Beach contest at the Florida State Surfing Championships. This was the coolest thing ever. We didn't repeat this yet so far, but they did the last heat of the day, I believe, right, Rodney?
Yes.
And the coolest thing, we did the polywalk second to last, and to look and watch the whole contest stand there in a line. We have the shot. I'll look for it. And we just were watching, and like, I don't know, like it was so cool to see the kids, like their faces were just like amazed, and
Yeah.
like it inspired tons and tons of people for
Yeah.
sure.
The kids love it.
Let me pull this up.
Didn't they do a heat with NKF this year as well on the north side of the pier at Cocoa Beach Pier?
Yeah.
They might have. I'm not sure though.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that. But the movement is out there, and so
I like it, man. Bring the stoke, and it's really interesting. I want to see is the adaptability of you guys
Oh, here's another
conquering
shot. Sorry,
this
guys. Here you
as
go.
well.
What's her name again?
she's new.
She was here last year.
yeah,
and
she's
this year.
Shout out to Dale
Yeah.
Swornson, real estate.
on the spot.
I have all their information. I
Doggers.
can pull it up. Sorry, guys.
No problem. I would really like to see this.
These are epic drums right here. That was her first contest. That was our MVP, the Freestyle Watch MVP. Shout out to Freestyle Watch, always giving us the MVP Sportsmanship Award at all of our events. We're super stoked to have you on board. Thank you so much.
Is that Shred Doctor's dad on the right of her?
That's Sean maybe again? Rodney, is that Sean?
No, that is not. That is.
It might be. I don't know. Honestly.
No, that's a local surfer.
In Coco, it looks like a Shred Doctor's dad.
It
I'm not sure.
possibly is. She
Yeah.
had to go to the airport or something along the lines of that day.
I met him way back in the day. And it's Groms.
There you go. There we go.
Yeah.
Rodney, that's
Yeah, boy.
that's the picture.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, you got one, I got a bigger one, boy.
Uh-huh.
That you won, right?
Yeah.
Okay, making sure. He's like, I didn't want to be a.
Is that your boy that
$250?
you called him out?
Yeah, well, and he's from Florida too, and me being from Florida,
Yeah.
not new to Florida, it was kind of a big deal, like,
He's
you know,
such a cool guy.
he's so rad. He's on the pro tour. He's doing it. He's doing all the events. I'm more into coaching now, and more into judging. I want
Be
to.
one of our future head
Yeah.
judges.
Yeah, I want to I want to make it to level 4.
Yeah.
Certified judge, and right now I'm a level 1. So goal is to get to level 2.
Yeah. I'm stoked. Let's sit behind that judge counter.
Yeah, let's
Together.
do this heat right here.
Okay.
Yeah, your dollar. You didn't steal that betting die?
I might have stolen
Okay, again, we're just gonna guess out some scores. Closest to the final score wins. Brought to you by Culture Shock,
Yeah,
Surfboard Broker,
I got my dollar.
And you got a bell to ring if you get one.
Yes.
I got one.
You
Now
guys
the
wanna
left
watch
is
Teddy's heat and Benji's heat.
the left is going to be steeper than the right. I can tell you that
All right,
much.
well, don't judge
Oh
us for these
God,
waves.
I gotta go against a local. He knows it.
I'll put it up in the bottom corner for you guys as well. Do you want to watch?
Sure.
Sure. Let's do somebody that let's okay. However, wherever. And I really didn't even look at how they're scoring right now, if it's high or low. So we're gonna be fresh.
Yeah, we're going to be.
It is a rewind today that I did not look at. So I hope you didn't watch this.
No.
Okay. 19 minutes ago, round 112, heat 7. Well, you got to put it to the beginning or whatever. We only have 3 waves to bet on.
Okay.
3 because I only brought $3.
Oh, I only have the $1, so we'll bet on one.
No, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, we'll fantasy bet on the third. It's not. You gotta give me that money back anyway. It's just nostalgia. Are you? Hey, how about you bet? I can bet. Yeah, there's $3 over here. We all have to agree on a wave that we want to bet on. So
Okay.
well, we'll just talk through until we all see one. We'll just pay slight attention.
Ready? Can they see the screen right there?
Yes, sir.
That right there is Mike Coots at Pipeline, the amputee surfer. Yeah.
Wow.
His name's Mike Coots. He's a good friend of Bethany Hamilton's from Kauai. I almost beat him. He beat me by I had a high score of a 7, and he beat me with a 7-1. With 3 minutes left, he needed a 7-1, and I had him with the 7.
He pulled a Slater on you, huh?
Yeah. I was actually keeping him off the set waves because he had a much lower volume board.
Sitting on him.
And so I was sitting on him, and he figured it out and went down the beach and
got away from you.
got the score. But he basically he is a shark attack survivor, so
Oh wow.
he's one of our more famous amputee surfers.
He's out of Kauai.
Out of Kauai.
I'm guessing another tiger.
A tiger shark. Yep. And him and Bethany started a nonprofit together. Yep. So great dude, and Mike Coots, he's a really good friend of mine. Are we just going this way or?
Oh yeah, let's. Yeah, no. That was his first and second turn, I believe. Who wants to go first? I like it. We'll bet on. Okay. Yeah. It should. I think that was his first 2 turns though. But I'm down. I really like that backhand turn. A full blow, full commitment. Floated it through, and then another. It was red, I believe. B Birch.
B Birch.
The first turn was the money turn, and the
if we don't score it now, they're gonna throw the score up. So I'm gonna go. Go.
Is it the replay?
No, but you better.
I'm gonna go.
Better
just
do
5.
some. What?
5.
5. Well, you better get better than that. You can't do
I honestly
5.
didn't even see it. That's
All
why I
right,
was
now
hoping
here
to
it
see
is.
the replay.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the 6. I'm gonna go with the 6-7 because
Oh.
because it's not quite the 7,
I would do. I'm gonna pull a 6-8. I mean, fuck, dude. I saw it. Not.
Wait.
Sorry, they gave him an 8.
8
Total.
And I was.
No, he has an 8 combination.
Combo.
He had a 4 before that.
Yeah.
I was gonna go higher than you, so we can, and we don't know
go
this
higher than me?
higher. I was gonna go higher than both of you.
Tab texter.
They're scoring these guys pretty on a strict line.
I actually like it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen. Again, we're just jumping in. Not. That was a good turn though. We've been watching so many contests. The scale's been changing, but we're close. I would say 6'8". You're at 6'7". Just looking, you
Yeah.
know. At I would say
Yeah, we don't know what that first score was, so it's kind of hard to
I
say
think it
right
was like
now.
a 4 or 3.
you actually took mine. I would say it's 6'7" as well, but we're not really paying attention and getting the
Let's try to
any other. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's
So
try.
now
We
that
know the
was
scale.
settled. Yeah, now it's settled.
Now it's settled.
We can do.
Okay, here we go.
Yep.
That's a check turn in pro surfing.
There you go.
Those are check turns.
Yep.
That's a 3.
3.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
Cheers.
So what did they give her?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
See, which surfer was that?
It was blue, I think.
It
Last
was
one.
blue. Okay.
Are they watching this as well?
They're about to be in a second.
Okay.
So did we get that one? Because I found where Teddy is.
They're not putting multiple scores up, so
No, he basically went from a 5 to a 9.94.
So
they gave him a
4. Yeah,
Yeah,
4.
So we were tied.
Yeah.
And I said 5. So I won.
Whoa, Bubba.
Just kidding. All right, I'm gonna put
I
up.
don't. I don't think we could do it. Anyway, I guess we can.
So I'm going to
Ooh.
4 hours and 4 minutes.
Let's do a fresh heat.
Yeah, right here at the beginning.
Okay.
Throwing me in while they already have
Where
their
was
set
I?
scores.
4
Throwing
minutes
me
and
off.
3 seconds.
Yeah, because these are pro surfers, so
3
we
minutes.
want
Yeah.
let's see real turns. We don't.
Yeah, as the tide turns, they that's another good podcast name. As the tide turns, like the soap opera.
Here you go.
Because as the tide turns, it
Sets the scale.
sets a scale. You know. Here we are.
What's the time? 4:01.
We're not doing that. There's Zeets.
Nah,
Sebastian's.
they said Zeitz. Here's Teddy
Zeitz?
Whitman right here. Oh no, never mind. I'm looking at it.
Okay.
None of these guys are local, by the way.
Melbourne Beach Surfer.
There's one Melbourne guy.
Teddy Whitman right here.
So cool. And they're seeing this on their screen as well.
About to be in about 4 seconds.
Anyways,
The majority of pro surfers in California come from Southern California.
yeah.
You know.
I can't do gloves and hoodies and booties, man. That's so I can see how the time that you can spend more time in the water in Southern California might be able to produce a little bit more, you know. But
This
again,
is Zoe Benedetto's
okay.
friend.
We don't need to hear their commentary, right?
Okay, here we go.
There you go, Jack Zeitz from Santa Barbara.
Okay.
No maneuver.
0.8.
Yeah.
1.8. No, I would say 2, 3. We gotta all agree on a wave to.
Exactly.
I'll agree on a wave to do. But
Now, Dave, have you guys heard of a guy named Dave? While we're waiting on a wave, have you guys heard of Dave Palmenter?
no.
Dave Palmenter moved from Newport Beach to Pismo Beach,
Okay.
and he basically lost his career.
Here's Teddy
Wow.
Whitman right here.
So we can do this one. Let's agree
Okay.
to do this one. Ooh, flare tail.
I already know the score, so I can't give it to you.
Yeah.
Let's go 4-5.
I'm gonna do 4-8. But that was why they give him a 5-5. I win $1.
Oh,
Win $1.
nice.
Here, you got another $1 to bet on. But yeah, maybe we shouldn't. We gotta say them at the same time or something because I don't want to think I'm gonna go over under you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
I guess we can exchange.
Okay.
Now I'll go first. And
Okay.
you can go over and under.
Okay. Gotcha.
Alright, cool.
I like that.
It's rainy, bro.
Yeah, it was getting pretty rough there for a little.
And that's him on our screen, home screen right here,
This
right?
is Benji Lang. He's
No?
from the St. Augustine Board Riders
Okay.
in green, actually, and he was the heat winner of last. He's a Hurley team rider. And he was at the Board Rider Bonanzas on the Florida Board Riders All-Star team with Gabe and Logan
Nice.
Rad and Carl Berger.
Yeah, we need to get Gabe on
Yeah,
one of these days.
I think
And
they're in
Howie.
Hawaii. I texted him today.
Are they? Sick. And here we go. I'm not gonna bet on this. It's just 2 or less.
Yeah.
Looks like a tough day. Onshore wins, huh?
Yeah.
What else did you?
Kelly
what did-
Slater named Pismo Beach the worst spot he's ever surfed
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because
in an interview.
coming from
He's never came back. We can't get it. Walt Cerny is a good friend of his who both surfed the U.S. championships in Texas.
Mm.
I think it was '87 when Kelly won. And Walt Cerny was there, and so they became really good friends. And so Walt Cerny
Here.
can't even get Kelly.
Did you see that first?
I did.
Second. This is dude. Well, I'm gonna go. They did not call it already. I was gonna do 3-8, almost to a 4.
Mm-hmm. We'll have to wait till the next one.
Did they already do that score?
They
That's
already
why you
did.
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't do that. Charles is calling me.
Answer it.
Ciao, boy. Not much. We're waiting for you to come on board,
Oh,
doggy.
He just texted me 1 minute ago. He said he's ready.
3.6.
Told him we can come to
Mike.
him. Service.
Oh.
Yeah, boy. Well, you're on the microphone right now. Shout out to Charles Impact Surfboards, his brother George, and we'll see you guys hopefully next week.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, boy.
Leave it where it was.
Yeah, boy. Five, 3-3. All right. Well, you're gonna have to take the volume off so we can't hear what they're calling out. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Well, first off, let's do an easy one. Who's your mount?
Who is your Mount Rushmore of surfing? So 4 surfers, and just pick an extra one for fun. So you can have Mount Rushmore plus 1.
My Mount Rushmore of surfing is Jimmy O'Brien. And 4 more?
Yeah, 4 more.
Wow.
Think about it. We got the Mount Rushmore.
Rushmore of the United States. Who's the Mount Rushmore of surfing to you?
Well, then it's gonna have to be start with Tom Curran, and then it would from Tom Curran, it would move over to like Aki, and then I like to maybe a Rob Machado, and then followed that up with. Oh dang! He retired a long time ago from Sacramento. Was known for his big old power turns.
But Taylor Knox.
Taylor Knox.
Yeah, boy.
Thank you.
Here we go. Did you see that?
That was a money turn right
Yep.
there.
Oh,
Yeah. Big nice wrap.
another one.
Well,
I knew something about this wave.
Yeah.
One of the best waves of the
okay.
event.
The money turn was that first turn, so
Second.
you go first.
I'm gonna do 863. Maybe. No way. That's way too high. 8. Like 8-2, 8-1.
8-1. Okay, I'm gonna go with the 7-6
Okay, that's good. You can do
under.
you could have said 1. And then, oh no, you can't. Yeah, you're going under. We'll see who's closer. 8-1 to a 7-6.
Boom.
The second one, I think, might
Was that a 7-5?
We'll wait. But who was the local? Just
7-6-5.
the 765 got me.
Mm,
Okay.
nice.
Dang. All right, now you got $2.
All right.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, boy.
Yeah,
So
I like that.
yeah, back to your Mount Rushmore with finishing it off with Taylor Knox. That was solid.
Yeah.
I still look up to him. That's still one of my. I think that was I said him for my Mount Rushmore as well.
I
his
love putting it
style
on
of
rail
power.
and putting it on rail
Power
and
was-
bring it all the way around.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, that's so hard, such a hard, difficult maneuver, you know,
with speed,
with
not
speed,
just
power, and
doing
flow.
flat and slow just to do a turn.
Hmm.
It's yeah.
Yeah, they're pushing it,
Sometimes-
you know.
Yeah, I see people taking a slower route to link up as the wave is going on instead of coming with speed and making that whole section instead of just 2 swiggles,
Yeah.
one whole turn, and then just hit it, and that would be a 7-6, and then sometimes do 14 of those checks,
Yeah.
and then maybe a flick or something at the end.
Yeah.
You know, 6-8, but maybe, you know, sometimes you see, but I put the respect to where the line is, and if you can see it and put all that speed and power into that one fluid arc, I mean,
That's good surfing.
it's it. I see, you know, some people doing it safe, and you don't want the Groms to just like, okay, they're gonna waste this whole wave pumping all along when at least they could link up like a check into a snap and then do the air reverse, or you know, sometimes they go they can get to the same place they want to end where we know where they're gonna try to flick and spin, and they can get there with a little bit more speed and power, and sometimes that shows a lot of difference between, hey, he did 4 maneuvers, yeah, but that one is for all those 4.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all in it's all in the maneuver. You want that more powerful maneuver to score better, because that's, you know,
Yeah,
that's average surfing. You know, just because you did it 4 times don't mean that you're going to get a high score.
Yeah.
You're still surfing average surfing. So to get the high score, we want to see excellent surfing.
yeah, go all out, and you know, it's and there's certain waves, you know, you really want to stick to what you know best in your game plan. We'll do this one.
Okay.
This might be kind of what we were just talking about, but ended it good.
Mm-hmm.
4-2. Yeah, that's a little high. 3.8. I'm gonna go 3.8.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go a tad lower than that, like
Yeah.
a 3.7, because it's right
Okay.
there.
You're gonna win this, yeah.
You guys have an ISA certification.
Yeah, tad lower.
What about that? Ron, you remember that?
Ooh.
Yeah, yeah.
That's Tommy Boo Boo?
So this is Lang, Benji Lang, that was just on the
Okay.
interview in the last heat. That was at September Bonanza.
Wow.
They were in the finals. That's probably the first round, I think, though.
Do you know
And
what we scored him on that?
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Okay.
What did
It's right here. Oh, I'm gonna actually look up that first turn.
what did
Okay.
the green get in that last one?
Sorry, guys.
But we'll figure that one out. So you also wrote a book, correct? This is with Standing Ebb and Flow.
Yeah. Withstanding ebb and flow kind of, represents the life, the highs and lows of the tide,
Yep.
and how the ocean. As surfers, we learn life lessons out there. About ebb and flow, and community, and environmental, and um, just like respect, and there's so many,
Camaraderie.
so many lessons to learn out there. And so I decided to write a book, withstanding ebb and flow, and to inspire people who might have a setback, that you can continue on in life and accomplish all your goals. And so
Yeah.
it's available on Amazon, and anyone who buys it, I would appreciate it, and give me a review. Let me know what you think. An honest review would be perfect.
There you go. And how long have you done how long has this been out?
It's been out 1 year.
1 year. Yes, sir. 45 years of surfing, 25 as an MPT, and now ISA certified judge, 20 years competition and surf instructor, highest rank to date, below the knee amputee surfer for Team USA at the World Games. Champion surfer on both coasts of recent win of the Florida First Adaptive State Championships.
377 was that the score?
We're just gonna have to bet on another one.
Okay.
That was a bad way to bet on.
Yeah, but I think we
But-
were both right in the middle.
Yeah,
377.
that was
Yeah.
a mediocre to a high. I
Mm.
think we're less than a point.
We were spot on.
Yeah, less. So it takes 3 judges. I mean,
Yeah.
we're gonna be high, low there, but it's consistent. Yeah, and I've from judging, doing contests since I was a kid. I mean, I can tell you, there was a style of judging that wasn't current to the surfing as well. And have you seen that since when you were getting into the judging or surfing and what you've seen?
Well, in the old days, it was what they called a 3 to the beach. Would get you the high score, and so 3 maneuvers all the way to the beach, and that would get you the high score. And then that became very outdated with the aerials.
Yeah.
And it became all about the maneuver, which is way better criteria for judging. So we want to see big maneuvers, versus surfing it all the way to the beach.
Right. The most critical and putting it all on the line, really. I mean, John has such a style that he makes you think he's throwing it all in, and when it's here we go, let's do this one. It was just a 2-hitter, I believe.
Yeah, he missed the last turn. He didn't quite capitalize on it.
No, we scored the last one. What did I say? 3.8, and you went 3.7.
Mm-hmm.
That was your turn.
I'm gonna go 4-5. I think he missed the last opportunity.
It's kind of more of a bank,
Yeah,
which I
a little
kind of
late.
dig if it was more speed and just ride that line really fast down like that. So I'm gonna go 4-3. Go lower on there.
Okay.
And what color was that? That was a 493. You win another dollar. You won the game.
Yeah.
Oh my
Dang it,
goodness.
doggy.
Nice.
Here you go, boy. Got me.
All right, so I found the live heats. I'll pull it up here for you. The first heat that went out that day was Team Cocoa Beach. It was also here. Let me give you the screen real quick.
That'd be fun. We need to bet more. But
Kind of slow.
it's kind of hard
Hype.
to put everything broadcast everything for everyone to watch as well. So that was kind of like I know if they can or couldn't see us, whatever.
So here is the score for the what you wanted to see. The A team is who they were. Show details.
Oh, maybe we can do just a screen of
So,
live heat.
Oh, I don't know what number surfer Benji was. I mean, you have a 557 and a 607. That was Carl Berger, and then Benji was their no Logan was their fourth surfer. It's hard to I don't remember.
What event is this? Is that Stewart Beach?
This is the Bonanza at Fort Pierce.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That turn we were talking about
That turn, yeah. Let me
It
see.
must have been a one-turn maneuver, and I think he was the second surfer, the 557.
Yeah,
So one gave him a 6. I think who was head judge? Rodney, you were 1 or 2 that day. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
But there you go. I mean, that's sick.
Yeah.
One turn, a 6.
it was I really like the scores because I knew how the surfing was and the potential of something that could have been so much more. And I know these guys could, and I know we didn't see it all day, but they were doing some really hard ones. They were doing some really hard maneuvers, and that's a really doing different divisions, especially kids. And I want to say this, like, to keep it consistent with when the judges are running from junior men's, and uh, the younger kids. If you see lower scores, we got a scale from the men's, and sometimes when it goes, we can bump it up a little bit, but it's kind of like I kind of like keeping it at that. If I'm gonna judge him as as if he was almost in men's,
Yeah.
we can.
To
And
that air.
some of the parents I know take offense to that.
Yeah.
They kind of don't. So just to say to the parents, sometimes if you're seeing consistent low scores in one heat, doesn't mean we're low scoring them. It's from a standard from where what we set, and
Yeah.
and we have to keep it consistent throughout the day. So
Yeah.
it's
Exactly.
balanced.
We can't make the adjustment based on the age because we're judging the surfing.
Yeah.
We don't know the age.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times we don't know the age.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you can tell the difference between the super young, but with the teenagers, sometimes it's difficult.
Yeah. And when you're doing the younger competitors, there's might be someone that's 10 times more experience in surfing, and now we have a couple of other new members or somebody coming out, and keeping it low in that same standard of what the men's category might be. And because we know that one kid might do 5-6 turns, and you can't bump up some of the other members up to appreciate, just for the scoring aesthetics it, there's a balance here because that kid there might be two that are a lot better than the other two. And so if you bump those up to fours, now we can't score. We can't have a fair competitive heat between the other much more experienced surfers because we can't bump them over 10. So that also makes a difference too because we get beginners and intermediate heats, and so everything has to be.
And you can't go by like you got to go by the conditions too, so you can't just go by the maneuver itself, because one maneuver in one condition at another break might not produce the same score, even though you're producing the same type of maneuver. It might not get the same score, and so you have to understand that the judges are scaling it based on the conditions.
Yeah.
And so you don't focus so much on on the score per se. Focus more on what you need to do in order to win or advance in your heat.
Mhm.
You know, so know what the judges are what scale they're using,
Yeah.
and know what what you need.
Yeah. I think taking time to watch a heat before yours, listen to scores, and know where the scoring table is,
Mm-hmm.
where and then set your strategy on this as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just going out there it's tough. That's why competing it's so kind of like it's just you're never gonna get it all the way. It's always gonna be a different day,
Yeah.
and serve. That's why we're still doing it. We're trying to still beat our friends from years ago, or
Yeah.
we're still trying to improve, and it's something that keeps the batteries charged
Yeah.
and improving and noticing. And
Exactly. And so try to know the scores, know what you need to do in order to advance. Very important is if you only need a 4, and you should know what a 4 is, like how the judges are scoring the 4. If they're scoring a good surfing and they're using lower scores, then you already know that.
yeah.
And so you have to know what it takes to get past a 4,
Mm-hmm.
to get your 5, so you can win. So know your score, know what it takes.
Yeah.
And don't be ignorant to
Yeah, go for what attributes you the best of what your surfing is, and go balls to the walls. But uh, obviously, keep your time frame accountable to your options and push it to the limit. We're here to you're trying to showcase the best of what your ability, as well as competitive and uh and drive. It's quite a it's just it's like almost like golf. I mean, there's so many different things you can put into it: strategic paddling, holding, sitting on someone, when to know to break in, break off, burn time if it's clock's running down.
yeah. Kelly Slater would tell you at the age of 50 he's never graduated.
Well, it's a lot.
I can't speak for him, but he's still learning.
Yeah, he's still in school. I mean, he's still surfing, so
Yeah.
it's it's a lot to take in when you start talking. And everybody's different. When nowadays, if I get into a heat with somebody I know they're gonna do an error, I'm gonna go for a barrel because and then a power hack. And if I could do 1 or 2 of those, and if it's like maybe chest high, and they just have kind of like a weak reversal,
Yeah.
I'm gold.
Yeah.
I'm pushing it. So I mean, just doing airs won't win you every contest. You got to have a full scope of everything.
Exactly.
I've changed my surfing so much since I used to just punt it every time.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, there's a lot more to this.
Yeah.
Like Charles Williams, he's the guy, he called it out. He's like, you don't really get like settled into your surfing or better until you're like 30, 33.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see a lot of guys that are surfing for, the style in current that day. If he's got to do it, I got to do it. And then you're taking away. And if that's all you guys want to do, then that's all we'll judge.
Yeah.
So break away from that. Throw a huge layback.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah. Like a turn like that.
sometimes, yeah, some power surfing is a bigger part of the surfing. And then in Florida, I know there's limited opportunity to take back something, but if everyone's doing 1-foot reversals, the only way we're gonna judge you different is those arc turns and those power hacks or something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, even though I know everyone right now is like, oh, it's because they're old and they can't do it, or it's that's not what it.
No.
If everyone's doing it, the only way to separate you is what I'm talking about, the meat and potatoes. And if you got good style at that and you can get through all that, then there's nothing for anybody to say.
Yeah.
'Cause you're the man.
Yeah.
So that's what that is what I would recommend for people to work on if to make sure that you're around robin in all areas, because the waves are different and not every, like if we go
You want to
like
see
today,
a variety of maneuvers.
Yeah.
So we want to see a variety of maneuvers.
I'm sure there's some air sections here today, but as Pismo goes high tide,
It's
now you're on your rail game. And so
yeah.
you got to be the best on your rail game.
Yeah, because
There's no barrels.
there's no airs on that. It's all soft.
Yeah. So his style, it's see, this is a tough contest. We'll bet on. Oh no, we're done with that because they can't watch the. But we'll see something like that. It's just a tough contest to just jump in mid sentence and judge right now. But
Yeah. Well.
And they can't see it.
I think it's time. I think we should wrap it up.
Yes, sir.
You know.
Yeah, we'll get you back on another day. You got plenty of stories as a Treasure Coast local now.
Yeah.
We appreciate you for talking the plank.
Talking the plank, dude. And yeah.
Awesome.
Nothing more than a real Treasure Coast pirate than titanium leg.
Yeah, a real pirate.
Yeah, a real boy. So thank you for coming, and I love talking. I could go days and days and watching this contest. And
exactly.
so we'll do this at the beach next event.
Okay.
Sir.
Out.
Even when I'm left, I do right by you. making that smile. All your beauty is spoken. I love the vibes that you carry. I see the spark of emotion, and when I see that you're down, I put the waves to your ocean. I'll be the first to admit, I know I have a lot of flaws, but nothing you couldn't fix. You're gorgeous, from your mind to your heart, straight to your hips. I want that never-ending ride, so baby, get with the script. We're on a different route. Show me what you're all about. Tears coming from your heart, shorty, I can cause a drought. See, I ain't with that shit they say, and I can prove it with my mouth. And lately you've been stuck in stress, but baby, I'ma pull you out without a doubt. So give me everything, and I promise I'll put you home in the tropics, and maybe one day we'll marry. There ain't a soul that can top you, and if you fall, then I got you. Just know I'm here when you drop it to change your world and your optics, to change your world and your optics. I know the world fight for you, even when I'm left, I do right by you. I'll be your